Hello everybody, this is me, the Hub Critic, back again with another video, and this time we have the Hub Podcast. And yes, I am drinking my orange juice, I am ready. It is 10:39 AM. I remember the last time I did the morning thing where I say the time. That was like the first episode. So yeah, a little bit of nostalgia there. It's episode 14, it's been 3 months. 3 whole months since I've done the Hub Podcast. Now, the reason for that is I have been away a lot, and I actually have, been busy with other stuff. Namely, 1, I've been on holidays. 2, I have had my junior cert, which was exams that went for like 20 days. And 3, I just haven't been entirely confident, or haven't really had the topics to talk about just yet. But anyways, I'm excited to be doing this episode. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, and share for more, and obviously do all you can to support me. Now, I'm just going to intro into this episode and just say that it's been a while, as you all know, and yeah, things have changed around here quite a bit. I haven't really posted many videos like I thought it would over the summer holidays. It's been a bit slow. I know the first month I wouldn't get anything up, but really July didn't do much, even though I probably could have in the latter half of July. I kind of been working on minimally 2 other channels. Actually do have a few videos up there, and I will tell you about those channels right now because why not? Our first channel is Tim and Jordan on Wrestling, which I actually set up really spur of the moment a few weeks ago, after just deciding with my friend I'm going to do this and do it with you. My basic premise was we're going to set up a YouTube channel with my friend where we just talk about wrestling, because we're both pretty active in wrestling. We both watch WCPW Loaded each week, which is a web wrestling promotion set up by What Culture. You may know them, What Culture WWE, and it is very, very enjoyable. Now, yes, we've made 7 videos so far, so of course, it's still a way to go. We're being up for about a week and a half, it looks like, and yeah, we're hoping to keep uploading daily and gaining a bit of traction on YouTube in the world of wrestling, which is just a vast world. You wouldn't think it, but it's a vast world, competitive market out there in wrestling, because there's actually quite a lot of wrestling YouTubers out there. You wouldn't suspect it, really. I mean, I used to be a wrestling YouTuber, and I talk about like how I changed my ways. I've gotten rid of that wrestling. So if you want to see more wrestling from me, especially with another friend, so we'll rotate. We do videos together when we're talking pay-per-views, and then when we're doing the like Raw and SmackDown and WCPW Loaded, and also NXT. They're the 4 shows mainly we do. You can actually hear us do them on our own. So it's a mixture. I think it's a very dynamic mix, and you can go check them out. I'll leave the links below for that. So if you want to hear more wrestling from me, go check out Tim and Jordan on Wrestling. My other channel, which I'm just going to briefly plug for a sec. I know the plugging isn't the most exciting thing to listen to. Is Basically Gaming Tim, and I think I started it around the time of my last podcast, if I can remember. Yeah, 25th of July. Oh, 25th of... No, not... When did I join? It was like April, and my last video was in April. I'm actually going to figure this out right now. Do you know, guys? I joined April 10th, and my previous The Hub Podcast came out... I need to check here. Just while you're waiting, I don't know. While you're waiting, guys, I don't know. I'll cut out too anyways. It's fine. Actually, no, I won't. I won't. Come on, it's hard to edit these videos. Let's see here. It said 3 months ago, which would be around April. April 22nd. So actually, I think I did have Basically Gaming Tim. I think I was plugging in that previous episode. So here's another plug for it, because I haven't plugged it for 3 months. You can also check the link out below. It's a gaming YouTube channel. I have about 33 videos on it, and it's been going since April. Now, if you know who Basically Gaming are basically a little network I have with my friend. We're making gaming videos, we stream, and we do all fun stuff. I haven't streamed in a while, but probably will be doing a stream pretty soon. So yeah, check that out. Also do walkthroughs of games, full multiplayer games, and Sunday Talk, a new series where I just talk about something for 10 minutes. It's sort of like the Some podcast, but way shorter. Actually, yeah, one thing about I need to talk about the format for a sec. So this is quite off topic here, but the format for the Hub podcast is actually changing, and yeah, just amongst the channel updates for this channel in particular, I am deciding to make the Hub podcast a little bit shorter, just a little bit more, for me, more bearable to upload and process. Because behind the scenes, it does take a while to process. I could be here for maybe 30, 40, upwards of an hour trying to process a 2 hour, 1.5 hour long podcast. So making them, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, it's more accessible for me to record, upload, and it also means I have time for other stuff. And today in particular, if you don't know, I'm a bit of a fan of Pokemon Go, and I'm going to go out and do that. Which is, yeah, something I want to do. So yeah, hopefully we can get around to that. Yeah, anyways, so yes, I have been pretty much enjoying a lot of crap lately, but some other updates to the channel, because I noticed in my last video, just to keep up, you know, the continuity of my channel, I am going to, I guess, tell you how many views, because I'm so pretentious, haven't I? 21k, 21,419 views, so that's a great improvement over last video. 32 subscribers, so the subscriber count I don't think has changed really, but the views have, which is cool. Some people are actually interested in this stuff, so I'm going to go show you, the one of you that are interested. I have 148 videos, you probably know that from the thing that says on the channel. If you're not subscribed, it will actually tell you, I think that's how it works. But, yes, my most popular video is by views, most viewed videos. My top 5 are pretty old, is interestingly enough. You think, oh yeah, as you go along, your views get more traction and all. No, that's not the case. I have my first video, one of my first, Malcolm in the Middle, Red Dress review, which has 2,219 views. Up there, like really up there. It has 6 comments, 4 likes, and 7 dislikes. Which is pretty, yeah, I don't know. I was kind of crap back then, I guess, with my reviews. I don't know why I got so many reviews of that. I think I just had this big gap in the market there, because there were not any Malcolm in the Middle episode reviews online. My next is Malcolm in the Middle Krellboy's Picnic review, which has 2,016 views. I'm making so many views from just those videos alone. And then it kind of goes down from there. There are a lot of 1k videos. I think 6 of my videos have over 1,000 views, which is pretty impressive. And actually, I have a lot of comments on those videos. That's interesting enough. I can actually view the comments from here. Yeah, so I was pretty bad back then. I'm kind of promising people I'm going to get better. Yeah, I just want to get better from those. I mean, I did those like early 2015. You know, it was quite a while ago. And I did say I'd probably do a return to the series, because I think people want that. And I really discovered a good gap in the market there, where what I mean by that is there were no other YouTubers doing Malcolm in the Middle reviews, episode reviews. I just noticed that, and I was like, what? I think this series was so popular, and it is. It's always been a great popular series. It just hasn't been on for ages. I think that's kind of what stopped it. You know, it was on years and years ago, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. So I will hopefully be doing that soon. Yeah, my first topic of the day, I'm going to start off nice and swiftly into the topic, and it is Pokemon Go. Yes. Now, I am really excited to talk about this, because actually, one thing after I was going to do this podcast is I'm going to go out and play Pokemon Go for a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours, which sounds mad to go outside, play a video game for that long, but I don't think it's that mad, actually. I mean, I think it's pretty... Okay, it's pretty mad, guys. No, I don't think it's that bad. Yes, so Pokemon Go, if you don't already know, which you must be living under a giant-ass rock. It just lit up there. But it's a game where you go outside and you turn on your phone and you go outside and you look for Pokemon and you catch them. So it's like real Pokemon. You can go to gyms, you can go to Pokestops where you collect Pokeballs, berries and eggs, etc., and hatch them after walking. So it's basically a game that involves you to exercise, to socialize, I guess, in aspects, and also to get out of the house and not play it indoors. So yeah, I'm on level 9 at the moment. If you want to find me, my name is... I actually don't know why, but my name... I actually accidentally typed this in. So it's a big, big typo. It is DFHHIKKK. So that would be Divhech. Yes, DFHHIKK. Pretty crazy. Yes, I know. This game is actually really fun. The whole mechanics of the game aren't great, in my opinion, but it's a fun game as far as it goes. My favorite part of it is probably just gaining levels and levels and keep going up and finding like evolving my Pokemon, because they start off really stupid and basic and get amazing as you evolve them. One aspect I kind of get annoyed about is the whole team system, because I was watching this video by Game Film Theory, I think, or no, Game Theory, obviously. And there's 3 teams you can pick. There's Team Valor, Team Mystic, and Team Instinct. Now, Team Mystic by far is the most popular with 45%. But I live in an area, there seems to be a lot of Team Valor. But I think as the game got more popularized, like at the start of the few days, I think Valor was pretty popular, right? As the days went on, I've noticed this like last week when I started playing it again, because I actually had to drop it because I had no data left. But then I got a 5 gig package, so I can now play it for a good long while. I noticed that it was starting to become Team Mystic a lot, and I was asking people, "What team are you on?" And they would say, Team Mystic. And all my friends were on Team Mystic that play the game, not my friends that don't play the game. But yeah, I did notice that, and I was like, this is strange. And I actually watched this video and was like, I completely agree. So Team Mystic, if you don't know, is one of the 3 Pokemon teams you can join when you get to level 5. Now, you will be presented with a choice. You get, there's I'd say, upward of 5 main reasons why Team Mystic is the most chosen, with over 45% of everybody playing Team Mystic. Now, if you want to know, the reason I choose Team Valor was because I like the symbol. And I think red, I don't know, I literally went specifically off the symbol. I don't care about the name, I don't care about really, I don't know, I was kind of attracted to, they're strong, they fight. That was kind of not me, but I enjoyed that aspect of it. Yeah, and I think the reason that a lot of people join Team Mystic falls down to the fact that Team Mystic is blue. It's blue. It's colored blue, which is mostly people's favorite color, and it's also in the center of the selection screen. So when you go in, it automatically favors Team Mystic, which is gonna sound crazy, but it's in the very center. The 2 are on the sides of this, like Team Valor and Team Instinct are on the side, while Mystic is in the middle. So it's already presenting you the choice of Team Mystic. Thirdly, I think the whole idea of, that Team Mystic represents a lot of people's personality traits, because it's kind of introverted, and a lot of people who play the game are probably a bit introverted themselves. I am as well, but I don't know why I didn't chose Team Mystic. I don't know. I just don't know. I was actually torn between Team Mystic and Team Valor. I decided to go with Team Valor, and kind of regretted my choice, but I'm not. After watching this video, it actually kind of changed my mind, because I used to be like, okay, I feel kind of ashamed. I wanted to join Team Mystic. When I found out it was the most popular, I was like, well, that gave me more reason to not join Team Mystic, because why would you join something because it's popular? It's not. Obviously, it's the bandwagoning effect, but I've never been like that. I don't really. Yeah, I just don't do that. I know. The fact that it is the most popular is not a valid reason for me to join Team Mystic, or if my friends are on Team Mystic, it's not really a valid reason, because, I don't know, the aspects of the game that I like, it's not really the competitive fighting aspect. I don't know if anyone finds the gym battles even remotely fun. And I didn't even understand the concept of, getting to gyms and doing all that and getting to the top of the gym and, I guess, getting paid for it, which is a good aspect, but I don't know if I'm ever going to reach that level of the game where I'm become that competitive, so I don't know. The team aspect doesn't really come into it to me. It's just about the one-on-one collecting Pokemon and etc. So, yeah, I don't know. I actually was out yesterday, or 2 days ago, I think, and a guy asked me what team I was on. I was like, Team Valor, and like he said, oh, everyone's on that team at the moment. So yeah, I was just like, is it just a way of gauging? It doesn't really gauge anything about a player by asking what team they're on. I mean, I know you could say, oh, they're doing really bad at the moment, but it doesn't gauge that player individually. So yeah, I'm kind of against the whole judging what everyone's doing is just judging people by what team they're on, because that doesn't make any sense in my mind. I don't know. It's not. Yes, you probably all understand, but yeah, I just find it kind of stupid, to be honest. I mean, they didn't have those in the Pokemon games, as far as I can recollect. So, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't find it. I don't find it that. Yeah, it's just a bit too. It's a bit too. I don't know. Overvalued in the game. So yeah, gameplay physics not great. Not a great game as per se what you want from a game, but the other aspects of the game which just make it so addictive and fun, brilliant. It's brilliant, just interface, simple interface, and it's so accessible for so many people, which is why it's become so popular. If this was a Nintendo DS game, it would never have been as popular, because there's not the access rate. But Nintendo are trying to chip into this mobile market, and I know they haven't actually produced this game with Ninetale in the first place. Nintendo have virtually nothing to do with this game, but they still, probably came up with the idea for Pokemon Go at least, and then got a producer to make it for them, and that was Ninetale. So I think that it's a very smart strategy from Pokemon. I know it's obviously dying out a little bit, just a little bit. I just noticed that one going out. There still are a lot of people playing this game, and I think that they've already made a lot of changes to the mobile market in the future, where a lot of people are going to be trying to catch on to this market, because it's an AR, augmented reality app that allows you to track on GPS. It's very, very up there in technology, and it's just really, really cool. So I think allowing other markets to gain onto this game is gonna really bring us more games like this in the future. I don't think you realize that, but like, even if this game does die out, we're also going to be seeing a lot more games like this in the future. So yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be too sad if this game disappeared, even though I am really enjoying it at the moment, and I actually do have 5 gigs to use in the next month. So until the end of August, where my summer holidays ends, it's just a perfect time for me to play Pokemon Go outside, because I have the time. After that, when I'm in school, I'm not going to have the time to play this game. So the Pokemon were clever, releasing it in the summer where everyone's off, has the time to do this. After that, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm probably not going to play the game anymore, and I know I enjoyed it. I enjoy it now, but knowing it is not that hard to get all the Pokemon, to be honest, except for, the legendary Pokemon like Mewtwo that haven't really been released into the wild yet. I'm probably going to be content with my, person, and I'm not going to feel like it's a waste of money. I only spent like €10 supporting this game in the form of the data, or around 15-20 euros. Like, that's quite a lot, but I'd say for me it was kind of worth it, because what I would have done with that anyway would be using it for calling and texting, which is upward very high on your phone anyways. So I don't find it that bad. Also I've been playing it for nearly a month and a half, so that's cool by the time I finish the game. So it would be pretty worth it, I think, in the long run. Now, what do I think is the future of Nintendo? Well, after Pokemon Go, they're gonna have to, rebound, because they've obviously been dropping in stock ever since it was realized that Niantic had all the responsibility behind this game, and Nintendo had nil to do with it. So I think the shareholders are just backing out like crazy from this project. But I think Nintendo did a really clever job, because they really brought people in with the Pokemon Go image, and Pokemon is such a widely known image, and it's such a simple concept in the long run. It worked perfectly for this mobile platform. Now, as far as seeing, I think Nintendo need to regroup and try and take hold of this market once again and make another mobile app, because I don't think this could last the long run. like other people are saying it will. It's just I think there's a limit to the way people are going to enjoy this game. I know it's got that social aspect and all, but like by next year, I'm not going to see millions of drones of people outside playing this game. Just imagine that next year. No, you're not next summer. So I don't know. I think next summer they should release something else, or at least next year. This should be a yearly thing where they keep putting out new content. I don't know, or at least they should delve people back into the game, make the gameplay better so that people will stick around for the long haul. And also, I think they should get rid of the gym battles, and I don't know, get rid of the teams, please. I don't really personally. The team system is clever, but in the long run, it's just kind of pointless to control a gym, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of find it stupid. But no, the gyms, they need to be redone. The Pokestops are cool. I mean, I like the Pokestops. They actually work, for one thing. Yeah, the gyms I just don't care about for too much, and everything else is alright. So yeah, anyway, that's my experience with Pokemon Go. I did catch a Pikachu, which I'm just going to say live on air because, hey, why not? And it's recorded, it's not live, but hey. Pikachu. Yes, I got one. You actually get a badge if you get 3 of them, which is cool. Yes, so that's all I'm going to talk about Pokemon Go. That's all you probably can bear from me about Pokemon Go, because you all probably are stuffed to the rafters with information about Pokemon Go. And I'm going to get into my other topics on today's episode. So yeah, we're going to move swiftly along. TV and film. Yes, very swift transition there. Television and film. I'm first going to delve into some films I have seen recently. Let's see what I've seen on the interwebs. I actually have seen a couple of films recently. Firstly, I have seen Star Trek Beyond. This is a film that is the 3rd in the Star Trek series, and is a very... yeah, it's a self-contained, episodic... the creators of this, the writers and stuff, were Simon Pegg, and the... I think the director was... one of the directors. I can't remember his name, but I know he did Fast and Furious in the past, and I know that this actually had a pretty exciting few trailers that came out before it. I was kind of pumped with the movie, actually. I know it's not on the same level of Star Wars. We get into a whole rant about how it's not, how it is, how it isn't. But yeah, I just think it's its own thing. And one crazy thing I didn't know about this movie before delving into the review of it is that, crazily enough, guys, it's actually the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and I didn't realize that. I think it's a TV show. I don't know if it's the creation of the show. The original series aired in 1966. Firstly, it's on Netflix. You can actually watch it. If you live in Ireland, you can watch Star Trek, the original series, and I think the first series of the original series. I don't know if they did another one, but it's a lot of episodes. It will last for a long time. They also have the Next Generation with new actors. So this movie did a really little sort of subtle hints, I guess, at what I liked is the subtle hints they did to the original cast. You know, they presented us with a picture of the original cast at one point and they also used an old ship, which, you know, our Elder Spock would have used as well. So Elder Spock, who did die last year, the original Spock, Leonard Nimoy, they actually announced his death in this movie. So I think that was a really nice tribute there. The new Spock was kind of sad about it. Obviously, he was considering leaving the Starfleet, and yeah, it was just a sad moment in general. The basic premise of this movie, which I'm just going to get into now, was that Spock and Captain Kirk were, you know, Captain Kirk was considering stepping down and giving his position to Spock, unknowing that Spock was also considering retiring from Starfleet as well. So they're both considering retiring. Well, Kirk wants to go to a more senior position in the Starfleet, like at home as an admiral or something like that. And then while Spock wanted to return to his home nation. Now, Kirk, knowing this will probably be his last mission, he decides that he is going to go on his last mission. So they decide to intercept a try to save someone from a wild other quadrant of space that's kind of been unexplored in the beyond world, and save her, and actually save her homeland. And they discover a lot of stuff on the way. They kind of saved all the people from that world. They're kind of being imprisoned in this sort of camp run by this evil alien guy who we have motives that we don't fully understand until the end. I've really enjoyed this movie. I think it was an action-packed. It was not to be taken too seriously. I don't really look at Star Trek movies and go, okay, this is completely logical, but I think, I'm like Spock here, but I think this movie was the most simplistic, one of the most, simplistic of the Star Trek movies, just based on the fact that it had one really singular narrative path with, outlying motives. I think that the idea that Captain Kirk and Spock both wanted to leave was a bit over dramatic. I would have just liked maybe if Kirk and Spock would have talked about it and said, oh yes, and Spock wanted to stay and do it, but the fact that Kirk said he only joined Starfleet on a dare was just a bit, I didn't fully understand. I thought he actually had motives to be here. Of course he does, but I guess on the outside that's what he felt like. But I always honestly thought that his, way he wanted to leave, I guess that kind of makes sense. It's been 4 years in deep space for him, so a lot has changed for him. So in this movie, he has a really cool character path. He's definitely more matured, he's more able for everything, and I think this is really not my favorite kind of art incarnation of Kirk so far in the new movies. All the other characters are really funny, especially Simon Pegg, who plays Scotty. Also, we have Bones and Spock having this cool interaction and really, talking about everything and just trying to figure things out. It's very funny. Yes, also, we have a new character, which I can't remember her name. She's an alien type thing, I don't know why. And she lives in the forest, and she's really, really good actor. So yeah, this movie was just action-packed from start to finish. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favourite Star Treks. I'd probably say it was my second favourite after the original Star Trek. I really enjoyed the original. So this is probably my second favourite. And I would probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yes, it's a good Star Trek movie. I honestly thought that. Yeah, it's a good movie. 8 out of 10. Why did I say 7.5? I meant 8. Yeah, it's a good movie. And just wonderful music as well. Actually, in an orchestra. It's cool. Yes, okay. That's enough for that. My other movies I've seen, I'm so tired, sorry. Other movies I've seen lately, I've seen Star Trek Empire Strikes Back, which you probably have seen lately. It's a pretty good movie. BFG is another movie I've seen. And what else have I seen lately? I think I've seen another movie that I can't put my finger on. Yes, I've seen Star Wars: A New Hope. So I've seen 2 of the original trilogy. I'm probably going to see the Return of the Jedi by the end of the week, I think. Yes, so it's been pretty fun lately. On TV, on the TV world, I have seen on TV, actual TV, BBC, I have watched the first 2 episodes of Robot Wars. Very big surprise. This is a return of a series that was on 13 years ago, previously headed by the host of Top Gear, the previous host of Top Gear, now the host of The Grand Tour, that is Jeremy Clarkson. Then it got hosted by Craig Charles, who is from Dwarf fame, for a couple of seasons. Then it got cancelled on BBC. It's quite a cult show. Then it came back years later with Dara Breen and co-host Angela Scanlon, I think, and this show is just pretty good. It's a cult show, so I mean it's not going to appeal to everybody. It's quite a nerdy show, but the thing I like about it is if you're not like a nerd or at all, it definitely makes it simple for a viewer to watch. Very viewer friendly. It's basically robots fighting each other. They're created by a crew team or whatever. You get an interview from the team, a little delve into the production of the robot. Then we get the robot being absolutely smashed to bits. Obviously, the most exciting bit about the show is everything just smashing together, and actual robots destroying other robots. It's such a simple but amazing, amazing premise. I mean, believe me, this is one of the highlights of the year on TV for me, because it's just such a good show. I think it goes for about 6 episodes, the final episode being the grand final, where the winner of each episode goes forward into that grand final. Yes, I think this is such a great premise for a show. I don't know what they don't do more like this. I think it's just, I don't know, BBC don't like these shows. I always say with Red Dwarf, it was such a cult show, but it was such a great show. BBC just couldn't take the concept of it, and they never wanted to put it in production. And they obviously, it kind of nearly got cancelled many times in the early days of the show. This Robot Wars, it only came back now. It couldn't, for whatever we might know, BBC might say, oh, cutbacks, and just cancel this show outright. So you never know. BBC is very unpredictable what's going to happen. Now, I think that if this show did get cancelled, it might be resurrected online. You can actually see every single classic episode before 2004. I think the original 5 series. You can check them out. The Robot Wars online. I'll leave a link in the description, I promise. You can check out all the episodes. If you literally look up Robot Wars on YouTube, you can find all of the old episodes. They come in different parts, but still, they're all there, perfectly preserved for you to watch. I've seen 1 episode of the original, and it was really, really good. I actually really enjoyed it. So, I mean, they have improved the show since then. It's got heats and stuff, and it's sort of like a round-robin based tournament type thing, where you gain points and then you go in to the final or whatever. But I really thought, yeah, I really like this. So, anyways, yeah, I think it's a fun series and really well enjoyed by all. So yes, my brother watched it with me, and he really enjoyed it as well. So it was a good show, good show. What else do I have to talk about? Oh yeah, Being Human. I have seen 2 series of this on Netflix. So I've seen like 14 episodes of it. This show is basically the premise. I heard this. I actually watched it because I heard it on Who Addicts Review. I checked it was on Netflix. I think it got recently added to Netflix. They've actually taken away a few shows I did enjoy though. That was annoying. But Being Human is about a werewolf, a ghost, and a vampire. They live in a house together, and they have to deal with their lives. There's a lot of, supernatural into the show because they all have to deal with their powers and they're human beings. And it really does have this sort of supernatural kind of tone on the real life world. It's quite a realistic show, but it also brings in the other aspects to it. So there's actual vampire clans who fight to kill the people and actually eat them. The vampires are really the kind of like the evil faction of the whole group. The ghosts are sort of like roaming around looking for a door to the afterlife, but our central character does not want to leave because she has friends. Well, most ghosts just don't have friends and just kind of wander around, really, looking for their resolution in order to get into the afterlife, which is basically how they will, how can they feel really perfect in their life and then move on. And there's werewolves who are humans who are infected by a demonic presence, I can't even say that, and basically have to deal with it every month, turning into a crazy monster and putting everything at risk. If you were to choose which one you would be, I would personally be a freaking ghost, probably. Now, that is to say that you would have to be murdered unjustly, which would be kind of horrible. But if I was an old age, I think I would be able to deal with that. I don't know, guys. What would you choose? I mean, I could be a werewolf, but honestly, you turn into this evil. Pretty much, there's a secret discovered in series 2, which I'm going to spoil for you all right now. But they discover like, oh yes, werewolves make you evil. So in the process, if you become a vampire, you basically become evil. If you become a werewolf, you basically become evil. If you're a ghost, you're died, but you're still you. So, I mean, you wouldn't be able to interact with human beings unless they were also spiritually evil, like a vampire and a werewolf, but you would have the chance of going into the afterlife, which is pretty much really cool, in my opinion, that it exists. And also, you can still observe other people, and I know that's kind of crazy seeing people die, but I mean, if I were able to resolve my problems, I would be happy to move on. Honestly, I would. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Ghost is probably the fairest of the three deals, to be honest. Yeah. Anyways, that's my opinion. I think it's a great, great show. I think if you haven't checked this out already, if you're like not into the whole vampire scene or whatever, like if you've seen Twilight and you don't like it, don't worry, you will like the show. I think it's just a really, it's a British show, so it's actually it's my kind of humorous. It's sort of humorous. It's not. It's kind of more dramatized, really, but the characters I kind of recognize them from other stuff. The central werewolf character, he is from Him and Hers, which I have seen. It's really good, and he's quite comedic. Yeah, there's all the other aspects and other characters. They're all very good, and I think this is a really fun show to watch. So go check it out. Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm still watching it, so I can't really give a full consensus, but it's a great, great show so far. Yes, moving on, summer holidays. I have been on holidays quite a few times over the course of the summer. I guess in June and July, I have, after the junior cert, I went to France, in Biarritz in South France. There was a lovely beach there. We did crazy stuff over there, and I went there for a week, I think, and yeah, I stayed in a campsite. And it was a really fun time to be had. I was away for a week, so yeah, obviously the weather was nice over there. It wasn't too bad, it wasn't too good. It was just a perfect kind of temperature, really. And yeah, it was a fun time over there to be had. I got burned quite a bit actually, and my legs were stinging afterwards. It was a fun show. My whole family were there. It was good fun actually. Then I went to London for 4 days, in apartments, and now we had a bit of a problem with the apartments. Quite a few things happened. We actually went to like 4 different apartments at one point, and we keep getting rejected by different apartments. The first one, I believe, we didn't like it because it was really horrible looking place and it wasn't what it was presented on the website, so it was obviously like false advertising. And the second one, we got locked out of. There were actually another family living there, which was crazy. I mean, it was a great holiday. I could go into more depth in a future podcast. The third one that we finally got into later that day was great and all, but the booking organizer actually only booked for 2 days. So on the third day, we were literally locked out of the apartment, and this was around half 9, 10 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, this was like 7, 8 o'clock at night. So we were in London City at 8 o'clock at night, stranded from our apartment. We had to book a last minute room in a really booked up travel lodge, which I had like a few rooms left, literally, in a travel lodge, which is giant if you don't know, in Vauxhall, which is quite a way off the tube. So it was at the outer kind of rim of London City. We went there, and it was pretty good actually. Very central from the tube line. We went there and we managed to get our codes back because we didn't realize we actually had zero. We had left all our possessions. The reason we were primarily angry was we had left all our possessions. Sorry, sneezed again. All our possessions and just everything we owned in the apartment that was in our previous apartments. That was we were locked out of, so we had to get back there. We had money there, we had iPads, phones, etc., and everything we owned, passports, everything, and money as well. So we need to get back in, but the reason was we couldn't get back in was it was actually you were given a digital code to put in. There was nobody there to survey anything. You had to literally put a code into the door to get in. So we were not given a new code, and we kept asking the original people who had let us in, and they would not get back to us. We emailed them, and we had to contact them on Facebook eventually. The next day, we got out of our little travel lodge, we went out, and we got the code. Eventually, we went back. This is the day we were leaving as well, so it was crazy, because we had to get out the next day. So we were racing against time. We got back to the apartment, we got our possessions, we got out there in half an hour straight. We got back to the railway, we had 3 hours, so we just went out to... We basically just went out onto the town, we got lunch and all, and it was really nice. I bought loads of clothes. I didn't buy loads of clothes. I bought socks, and I bought a fleece type thing, sweater type thing that was kind of light on me. It was really cool. It actually looks really awesome. Jumper type thing, but it's a zippy jumper. And yeah, we got out of there and we went home. That was crazy. And even after a third holiday afterwards, which was like a few days later, I went to Cavan for 5 days, and that was with the Scouts. That was a really fun time as well, because we actually did cool stuff there. We actually really did. It was fun. It was Camp 4, so it's like every year they do a camp in Ireland. Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 3, Camp 4, and Camp 5 was the last one. We had a fun time there. There's a small group of us there. There's like 9 of us in the one patrol. We had a fun time. Honestly, I was only older people there, so yeah, I was kind of a bit emotional. It was my last year in Scouts. I'll be moving on to Ventures next year, which is basically a more senior role. You get to actually, at these like big camps, you actually have to like run it. So it's crazy. I'm going to be probably running something next year, or going on these venture camps where only Venture is allowed to go. So it's like all the older groups, like 15, 16 plus, up to 20. So there'll be a lot of older people there. So yeah, I don't know what's going to go on with that. I don't know if I'm actually going to go in the camps. Possibly will be excited to do those. The meetings in our Scout group are still on a weekly basis, so there's nothing really going to change for me that much. Yeah, it's going to be pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I'm excited to take on this role. Yeah, it's going to be a bit more responsibility, I guess. But I'm ready for it. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And camp was fun, and fun times we had. I got a neckerchief there from Camp 4. Pretty cool. Yes, moving on. Before we start, I should do my Red Dwarf review. And this might be like a 10-minute. I know in the past I've done like 25 minutes plus review episodes, and they've been pretty long. This one's going to be Red Dwarf. Obviously, one thing to know, we did get an announcement a few weeks ago that Red Dwarf Series 11 will be coming September, so I'm assuming it's the very start of September, which is only a month away, which means that I will probably not get all of my top 10 episodes up, so I think I'll just do as many as I can, and then we'll be obviously on Series 11. So, that is, I am here with Marooned. Now, this is a very enjoyable episode. Let's talk about it. Okay, so Marooned is one of the episodes of Red Dwarf, as you know, and it is directly from series, second series, I think it's from the second series. I know, series 3, episode 2. It's Marooned. I haven't actually seen this episode in a while, but I'm going off my last viewing of the episode. It debuted on the 14th of November. No, when was it? The 21st of November 1989, so it's a while ago. This is about 27 years ago, I think. 27 years ago, what a while ago it was. Nearly 30 years ago. My god, it's old. This episode is a very self-contained episode. I'm going to read you the basic plot of the episode, and we're going to get into my opinions on the episode. So here's the plot. Red Dwarf is on a collision course with 5 black holes, and Holly, who's played by Hattie Haybridge, recommends that it's time to abandon ship. Lister, Craig Charles, and Rimmer, Chris Barry, make their getaway in Starbug, while Crichton, Robert Llewellyn, and Kat, Danny Dunn-Jules take Blue Midget. But as Rimmer regales Lister with tales of military interest, he reveals that in a previous life he was Alexander the Great's chief eunuch, which is, as you know, it's a pretty not great role. Starbug is struck by a meteor and crash lands on an icy planet. In these conditions, rescuers could be 10 feet away and still not find them. Food is short and warmth is non-existent. As a hologram, Rimmer would not need either. But Lister can only hope he survives until help arrives. As personal stories are swapped, Rimmer sees a side of Lister he never knew existed. To keep warm, Lister starts burning Rimmer's $24,000 pound notes and collection of books. When the fire burns low, Lister suggests to burn Rimmer's collection of 19th century war figures. Rimmer refuses and points out Lister's beloved Les Paul guitar would be perfect for burning. Reluctantly, Lister agrees and asks for a moment alone. Lister then quickly cuts a silhouette of his guitar into Rimmer's camphor wood chest, snaps the cutout and puts it in the fire. Rimmer returns and sees the guitar-shaped object burning in the furnace. Rimmer states that he made a supreme sacrifice, and as a man of honor, he will lay his war figures for the sake of friendship. After all, the guitar meant the same to Lister as the camphor wood chest meant to himself. He then tells Lister exactly how much it meant to him, and Lister feels very guilty. Crichton and Kat eventually discover the crashed Starbug on the icy planet and come to the rescue. Holly then informs them they weren't actually any black holes at all. There were 5 specks of grit on the scanner scope. Unamused, Rimmer then tells Crichton the great sacrifice that Lister made and how they grew closer. Just then, Lister comes back in, looking at the floor, and walks over to the locker. He opens the locker, takes out his guitar, and exits. Rimmer now realizes what had happened when Crichton knows the camphor wood chest that is clearly a guitar-shaped hole at the back. He then tells Crichton to grab a hacksaw, saying they're going to do to Lister what Alexander the Great once did to me. And that is a hilarious way to end the episode, because obviously a eunuch is... yeah, it's when your nether regions are removed. So, it's as simply as I can put it, really. Anyways, getting into this episode, this was a very, very enjoyable episode. It's a very self-contained affair. I think this is one of the, most entertaining episodes I've seen. It's just basically a one-on-one, putting it simply, with Rimmer and Lister. They're both talking to each other. They're both, recounting tales of their past. We both get this really nice, in-depth listening talk about their past. And it's really, really, really fun to listen to. It's just a really good time. A really good time. But no, I think this is why I really appreciate these old episodes, because they do the simple things so well. I mean, all the dialogue between the two members of the crew, it's just really, really in character. It's really, really good. I mean, this may be due to being, early on, so we were just establishing the characters quite early on. But especially these historical tales from Rimmer's life, and all the stuff that he talks about, that he kind of blames on his whole personality, is just so deprivating and so funny in so many ways. I mean, as you see, my favorite character is Rimmer, and this is one of his finest moments. I mean, him just recounting his tales and just saying how crap his life has been, how he was bullied at an early age, how, he's given nicknames, how his whole life has been dictated for him already. It's so interesting, and it's so, unique to listen to, because we always knew he was a bad person, but seeing this other side to him where he's trying to explain it and trying to give reason to it, we never really know what he's actually thinking. So this is just a really good in-depth look at his life. Now, I know it can be a bit biased, but I think this is quite truthful to his life. So I always think Rimmer in this episode is just so good. I think, acted out brilliantly, his face emotions, and actually at the end of the episode where he realizes it's so funny, and the suspense is built in perfectly. Lister, on the other hand, recounts, tales of his life. He says, oh yeah, he's talking about, how obviously he has to deal with the fact that he might starve to death, so he kind of recounts, his oldest tales, because, when you're in these situations, you probably want to tell stories to help pass the time and help make things a little bit more bearable. So yeah, he goes into his past. His reactions are funny when Lister talks. They're just the perfect duo, and they work so well off each other, which made this idea genius. I know it could just be really stupidly easy, or it could just be genius. That's how this episode I think to me is. The setup is brilliant. There's two chairs sitting in the middle. They're both just talking to each other. It's just one camera setup. So it's literally just that scene in the ship for probably 20 plus minutes of the episode. And yeah, the rest of it is, who cares about that? Because it's all about this talk. Yes, anyways, as the episode nears its climax, we always know that one of them is to sacrifice a guitar. And that is Lister. So yeah, he pretends that he's going to sacrifice it after, being the only really thing left. And the fact that Rimmer will not give away his stuff. So that's why Lister pretends to do that. Actually takes out a bit of Rimmer's chest. He's pretending to be nice to Rimmer, but he can't really. It's so funny the way he just gets around it. He tries, he's trying desperately to, appeal to both. But of course, Rimmer is someone it's hard to be friends with in the long run, because I don't know, he just hates everything really quite a bit. But it's so comedically funny the way Lister gets around this. It's really, really good. My favourite moment definitely is the way Rimmer finally gets the reaction at the very end. Very good payoff, actually. Now, as I said, the characters are pretty brilliant in this episode. Let's talk about, the basic, the setup of the episode. The suspense really builds throughout the episode. Very, very good build. Actually really like that. The way it just kind of goes into the climax at the very end, always leaving us open for more. Always, if the episode, I think my basic theory, if the episode really wants you wanting more, then it's a very well made episode, and this episode really delivered that for me. I always thought this one it went so quickly, which is good as well. It's really good. My favorite character was Rimmer, really good, and I discovered a lot about him in this episode. Very cool. There was a lot of cultural references from this episode I could comment on, especially the whole Alexander the Great and his chief eunuch. That was so funny. Here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, just a lot of references. If you go on the Wikipedia page, there are a lot of references, which I'm not going to go into now, but you can. One of my favourite things was also where he talks about remember the alternate version of the May Day bank holiday called Shrove Tuesday. No, not called Tuesday. Actually, I can't find it here, but anyways, there's a lot of references here. This is on the 15th greatest episode of Red Dwarf according to the Red Dwarf magazine, and Chris Barry says one of his favorites of all time. I really agree with that. I think it's so simple, so it's just so perfect. There's nothing really I can take away from this episode, which is why I'm giving it such a high mark when I talk about this episode. Because if you think about, what was bad about this episode, I can't really put anything on it. That's the genius of this episode. There's nothing bad about this episode. I really enjoyed it. Now, as far as the stakes go, one thing that I could say that isn't great about this episode is the replayability. I know all stories are great, but at the end, you already know what's going to happen. So it does take a little bit of suspense away. But that's kind of what you expect from these episodes. They're sci-fi, so you kind of know there's going to be some big thing that happens. And there obviously is a bit of a payoff at the end of this episode. But you come to this episode for the actual in-depth character that you get in this episode. This is why this episode gives me such a high mark. I'm giving it a 9.5 out of 10. Yes, that's probably the highest mark I've given to a Red Dwarf episode. I think in living memory. Marooned, it's timeless, it's perfect. And it can never be replicated again, I don't think. I think it was just such a perfect setup. It was such a well-made article. And if it was remade, it would never be as good as the original because you can't beat the original. Anyways, this was Marooned. What a great episode. Moving on, because that was such a good episode. Again, it was written by Rob Grant and Doug Naylor, which I'm pretty sure you already knew that. Lots of culture references. I can't even say that properly. Great episode, and yeah, good episode. Let's go. Okay, let's finish off this episode, because it's nearly an hour. Pokemon Go, all this stuff, the Hub Podcast, episode 14. Let's end it off. So yeah, looking forward into the future. I hope you're doing a lot more of these Hub Podcasts. And as I said, I don't like my promises, so I will not make a promise. I personally won't make a promise to when I'm going to do the next episode. But I will make an exception, because I will say you can expect the episode, which is not a promise, but you can expect the next episode within 2 weeks from now. So yes, it could be 2 weeks from now, or it could be a week from now. You never know when the next episode is going to come up. But I will help into this a bit more, to get the next couple of Red Dwarf reviews up, because that's probably one of my favourite aspects of the entire episode, is the Red Dwarf review at the end. Also, looking forward, you also expect me to do a lot more work on my other 2 channels, so don't expect, I will be doing those weekly reviews, which again, I promise you guys, they're starting very, very soon. That will be my main thing going on. The Friday show is going to be going on as well. I'm starting it back this week. I promise you all, it is starting back this week. What else? Yes, with Tim Jordan on wrestling, there'll be about 4 videos a week. And when pay-per-views are on, there'll be 6, because there's going to be a preview and a review. Yes. And also on Basic Gaming Tim, I'm doing an Uncharted series at the moment. So if you like Uncharted 2, Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, check that out. It's very good. Today on this episode, I'm going to ask you for a few suggestions and do a few shoutouts. So firstly, we're going to go to the shoutouts, and then the suggestions or the competition type thing will be at the very end. I'm going to do that soon, okay? So we're first going to go over the shoutouts for my channel. Here we go. So on the channel, I have had a few new subscribers, I don't think. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't know if I have. Yes, I do. I think I do. I have James Kendall and Con the Film Buff 33, who subscribed around 3 months ago and 1 month ago, respectively. Thank you for your subscriptions, as always. Also, a special shout out to some other people who have recently commented on my videos. One of my great supporters who just appreciates stuff at me, and it's a leader strike. He's done a great job, you know, supporting me for a while. So yeah, I obviously really appreciate it a lot. Anyways, moving on swiftly. I'm going to be doing a little competition type suggestion thing. So what I want you to do is, guys, comment on this video in particular. The first person to comment will get their own video idea made by me. Now, what I mean by this is you can literally do any video idea you want. You can tell me to do a review of something. You can tell me to do any episode of anything you want. Literally, one of those random things you want to do with TV, wrestling, / Red Dwarf, TV shows, Malcolm in the Middle, anything. I will be doing a video on that as time comes. Also, I will be doing a video of my choice if there's no comments. If this video reaches 5 likes. 5 likes, that's all I want, really. And if it reaches 50 views plus, I will also be doing special video as well. So either one of those have to be fulfilled, okay? Anyways, moving on. Let's see what else. Yes, that's it. I'll be doing a special video with your suggestions. That's cool. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and like. And I'll see if you want to be in with winning the competition. You have to be subscribed to my channel. And then I will also be doing, in that video where you suggested, I will be giving you a special shout out and just talking about you in particular on your channel. And if you want me to give you a special shout out on anything in particular, I will do that as well. So if you remember, obviously you have to be subscribed to this channel, like this video, watch it, go to this very end of this bit and look at it, and then you will of course be in with the chance. Obviously comment below what you want me to do in a video as a video idea, a cool video idea, and the first person to comment will get the prize. Or else, sorry, if more than 1 people comment, I will consider most of the ideas and then decide from there. Anyways, obviously, thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe to be in with the chance of doing this. Like, share, favorite, and do all you can to support me. I will see you in the next episode. Hopefully that'll be this week. And I'll see you next time. Bye.